In this tutorial, we'll show you the basics of PageGrid. To edit your website, start by logging into the backend. On the left side, you can see your page tree. From here, you can edit pages, create new pages, or move pages around. You can also clone pages or publish or unpublish them. You can hide, lock, or delete pages as well. We'll start by editing the home page, so click on the Edit button. You may already have some elements on your page. You can also choose one of the pre-made blueprints as a starting point. But for this tutorial, we want to start from a blank canvas. So let's remove the elements on this page by clicking the trash icon. To add new elements to your page, you can drag the blocks on the left onto your page. It's all here: text, rich text, image, video, maps, sliders, and more. We'll start by adding a group, which acts as a container for the other elements. Groups are by default displayed as a 12-column grid. You can change the number of columns or the size of the gaps. You can even change the display settings to something other than grid, but for this example, we'll stick with the default. Let's just add some inner spacing to it. Now we're ready to add elements to this group. Let's add some text and an image. To upload an image, you can either click the upload icon or drag an image onto the image element. To edit the text, double-click on it. We'll add some copy here. Let's also add a headline. Click the Save button to apply the changes. Now that we have some content, we can change the layout by dragging the items around. You can position the items freely within the grid. You can also resize items by dragging their edges. By default, grid items will be positioned manually. We can change the layout from manual to auto to make the items automatically use the available space. Now, when we drag the items, we'll see that they automatically adjust to fill the available space. To quickly add more content to our page, we can create a copy of our group by clicking on it and then pressing Command-C to copy and then Command-V to paste it. We could even copy it to a new page, but for this example, let's just paste it right after our selected group. Now let's change the layout and content of the new group. One thing that's missing is a navigation for our website. So let's add another group at the top of our page. We want this group to have the same spacing as our other groups. We could add the spacing here again, but to do this to every new group could be a bit annoying. Instead, we'll create a class that we can reuse across our site. Here we're calling the class Container, but you can choose any name that makes sense to you. Then we apply the spacing to the class. This will save us time in the future, and if we decide to change the spacing later, the change will be applied to all elements with this class. Of course, this is not limited to spacing. You can save any kind of style as a class. If you want to learn more about classes, you can watch our Style Panel tutorial or read more about CSS classes on the web. If you want to add your logo, just add an image to your navigation bar. We'll just add some text here. Next, we'll add the navigation block to create a menu for our website. This block generates links to our published non-hidden pages automatically. If you want to build multiple pages with the same navigation bar, you can turn it into a symbol. Just click the symbol icon and give it a name. Symbols are identical copies of recurring layouts that have the exact same content. Once created, they appear in the block panel on the left. One more thing we can add here is a footer. Let's add another group at the bottom of our page. In the selector field, we can now select the container class we created before. We can add some text and some links here if we like. Let's also turn this one into a symbol. We just created a homepage in about 5 minutes. Of course, you could refine it further or come up with a more interesting design, but let's leave it like this for now and instead create another page. Click on Add New in the Page dropdown, give your new page a name, and click Save. First, let's reuse the symbols for our navigation and footer we created earlier. Next, we'll add a group for the content of this page. In the Selector field, we can again select the container class we created before. Let's also add some text here. Now we might decide to change the color of our navigation bar. Since this one is a symbol, these changes will be applied to the home page as well. The navigation looks a bit too heavy now, but the black background suits the theme of the website nicely. So let's change the background of the whole site to black. We can either add the color to every group separately, or style the body element. All styling set on this element will be inherited by all body elements across your site. Any newly created pages will also use the same styling. Styling the body element is a great way to set some default styles for your project. We hope this tutorial helped you get started with PageGrid. Make sure to check out the other tutorials as well, and if you have any questions, you can post them in the PageGrid forum. Have fun designing!